Right, I'm Neil, and I normally write stories as well, but this isn't a story, but I'm not sure what it is. So I'll just begin. It's called To the Memory of Patrick Feeney. As a writer, I tend to steer clear of writing about real people, be they from now or history, preferring instead to create stories of imagined characters in made-up situations. I cannot seem to get my head around moulding others' words and experiences to my own end. The only time I ever came close, however, was with one Patrick Feeney and his murderer, Benjamin Gardner. If heading down to the Town Hall Gardens in Chatham, you will find a memorial stone to the memory of Patrick Feeney, a sergeant of the 50th Regiment who was murdered in the year of 1834 by Benjamin Gardner, a private of the same company. Apart from its immense size, what struck me most about it was how much information it gave about Feeney's killer, in a strange way, making it a monument to both men. What it lacked, despite already having given so much, was any further detail. I wanted to know more, as, with a great deal left unsaid, it was bound to get my imagination going. I got in my mind there was a story not just to be found, but more importantly told. I wondered at the connection between the two men. Might they have been friends who fell out, or could there always have been an animosity between them? In my mind, I wondered whether the private was pushed by his sergeant to breaking point, until he could take no more and lashed out in the most drastic of ways. In the end, what stopped me from going further was that in real life, there was only ever one version of what happened that day, that fateful day. I had no right to put my own spin on it, and so left the idea wanting, until at last picking up my pen to write these words instead. To do so meant delving back into history to find out what took place. There are a number of pages dedicated to online that lay down the bare facts of the awful matter. Gardner shot Feeney at point-blank range with his musket after being dismissed from the parade ground for being drunk. Eyewitnesses stated that the disgruntled private knew exactly what he was doing, and although he would later claim not to know the gun was loaded, a jury took only 5 minutes to declare his guilt. Just 3 short weeks later, he was taken up onto the Great Lines, where he was hung until dead. Now, it is not my place to judge whether Gardner should have hung, any more than I can say Feeney deserved to be murdered. It is impossible to comment on his mental state, or that of the departed sergeant's character. Facts alone can never tell the whole story, and sometimes the truth can fall between the cracks. Then again, this could just be my interpretation as a writer, looking for more than there ever really was. Often real life is just ordinary, and ultimately this is just a tale about a drunk who killed a man for no other reason than he just didn't like him. Maybe the reason we create stories around such points in history is to make sense out of those senseless moments. So really, we should write, compose and create art in tribute, not just to celebrate, but instead remember and teach. In the end, what greater way could there be of honouring the memory of someone? And so long as their life, and death as it may be, is treated with respect, a story should be no different than a memorial. I may not be able to offer more than what is written here, but what few words there are, I dedicate to the memory of Patrick Feeney and his murderer, Benjamin Gardner. Thank you.